I have some more notes here. We're still on Lindsey Graham. So you said in your pre-show notes here, you had a colorful past.
Mm-hmm. That's one of it.
You were raised quick. Oh
Gosh, what is going on?
It's been a long day.
Raised Christian.
It's been a long day. Raised Christian, excuse me. You fell off the deep end in your 20s. You were a stripper. You mentioned that. Meth addict?
I was a meth addict, yeah.
Then you were forced into an schmushmortion with by an abusive boyfriend.
Yeah.
What do you mean forced?
Gosh, it's always such a weird word to try to use without telling the full story, right? Manipulated would be a better word. When I got pregnant, he was very abusive, so emotionally, physically, verbally. And I'm not a wuss. I'm not like, he emotionally abused me. He was literally emotionally abusing me, gaslighting. And first he called me a liar and tried to just kind of cut me off. And then when I proved that I was pregnant, he used different manipulation tactics to try to get me to have an abortion. One being, if you have the baby, I'm going to take the baby, make sure that, because you're an ex-stripper and an ex-drug addict, I'll make sure the courts know this, you'll never see your baby again. That was his way of, trying to get me to have an abortion so that, of course, he didn't want to be responsible. He was a good Christian man in the church. Didn't want his reputation ruined. That didn't work because I was struggling, of course.
Wait, what does that mean? He was a good Christian man in the church.
Man.
And you were a drug addict?
No, not at this time.
Oh.
Years prior.
This is years prior.
Okay, hold on. So I was a dancer and a drug addict at the same time.
Okay.
Left those lifestyles and began dating him immediately. Ooh, I was that girl. Oh, no, it wasn't. That wasn't a thing. This was 20 years ago. So
it sounds a lot like that girl.
Yeah, except it does sound a lot like that girl. Where's the
Sounds
gotcha.
a lot like the girl I just
Wasn't
explained.
there a button for that? Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah. Hit it.
Gotcha, bitch.
Okay, so.
Okay, but actually, in my defense, I was living such a whirlwind, crazy life. I was actually still attending church while I was a drug addict because my relationship was
But you're off the drugs. You're not stripping anymore.
Yeah.
You go to church. You meet this guy.
Yep.
Okay, so then what happens?
So then I got pregnant about, I guess, 6 months to a year in. And so he was manipulating me to get the abortion for one main reason. He didn't want anyone in the church to know that he was sleeping with someone before he was married, or that he wasn't this upright, outstanding, Jesus-following person that everyone thought he was. And anyway, the manipulation continued.
Weren't you supposed to be too? Because you were going to the church?
Yeah, but I knew I wasn't. I knew that I wasn't. I knew I had a lot of work to do with the Lord. I knew that I wasn't following Jesus, that I was turning my life around. He believed that he was like pastor material. Just let it dissect. Just digest.
Yeah, I'm digesting it. It just... Okay, so not going to lie. Sounds a little predatory on your end. Just a bit. So you go right into the church and kind of...
No. I was already in the church.
And he wasn't?
He was in the church.
Okay.
I was a dancer and a drug addict while attending church.
Okay.
Still.
But you had quit all that?
I quit when I met him. Because
he got you off out of there?
I would not give him the credit. I will give God the credit. But I looked at my life.
Well, did he assist God with that?
No, he did not.
So he didn't say, like, you need to stop doing that shit?
Nope.
No? Okay.
I looked at the idea of him, and I looked at my own life, and I recognized that the way I was raised was I've always wanted to be a mom and a wife, and the life that I'm living will not get me to that situation. I will never have a man like that because of who I am, the life that I'm living. So I decided to stop dancing, and then when you were
in the club, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when you're in the club, you're doing the dancing, did you do the thing that a lot of them do where...
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't. Go ahead. I'm just waiting to hear you say it out loud.
With the Johns in the back?
No.
Never?
Didn't think you were going to say that. No. Nope.
Champagne room? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
I think I get what you're saying, and the answer would be no.
Yeah. But I mean, you saw a lot of that happening, right?
Actually didn't.
No.
I didn't do it very long, so...
Okay.
And no, I never saw it. I'm assuming it did, but yeah.
Did you enjoy dancing?
No. Okay. Nope. I was just doing it for money and was not in the right state of mind.
Do you
Gotcha.
have like any advice for people who do want to dance or whatever? Because I know a lot of people who do, and I don't think that they understand like what happens behind the scenes and how they get treated and all this other stuff. And
Yeah, my advice would be do not do it. It's very, of course, it's very demeaning. Like women, all women are worth way more than what their body will sell for.
yeah,
So I would never suggest that women abuse their body and their soul to that point and essentially sell themselves.
So, so anyway, this church relationship that you had,
Yeah.
okay, going forward with this. So you say he used manipulation tactics. Okay, so then you did the deed, right?
Yeah, I basically fought him as long as I could, and then he scheduled an abortion for me.
How long was
on my
that
birthday.
that you fought him?
I think 8 weeks when he took me to get it.
8 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. So you fight him for 8 weeks. You go and you have it. Did you stay with him?
Unfortunately, yes.
For how long?
I would say another year. And now everything was off and on. We were such a toxic relationship, as you can imagine. We would break up and get back together, break up and get back together. And so
I mean,
that just
I'm not
amplified
gonna
things.
I'm not gonna lie. Just, and I don't know, right? Feel free to correct me, but kind of sounds a little bit to me like you're shifting blame away from yourself with the language of like manipulation, things like this. Almost trying to distance yourself from. You're also at fault for that, right?
No. I will admit that I'm at fault.
Okay.
I will admit that I should have been a stronger person. I should have resisted. I think about how I should have literally picked up and moved and never told him where I was and like went into hiding. I take full responsibility for the choice that I made to be able to be manipulated and to not fight back.
Yeah, I don't know what that means though. Like if when you say I fought back as hard as I can, what would that entail? The fighting back.
More of mental gymnastics. It's really hard to sit here as a very, very strong woman now who has a great life and is mentally sound to look at the kind of person that I was when I was being abused. Because I was with him for, I guess about 2 years, maybe longer. So maybe my timeline is off. It's kind of a blur. But the mental gymnastics that he played from day one completely took away all of my self-worth, and I was just a shell of a woman. I mean, I was completely able to be manipulated, coerced, gaslit.
Would you say he was a
lied to.
narcissist?
Yes, absolutely.
Was he ever diagnosed as a narcissist?
He would never ever go to a doctor because to admit that there was something that needed to be looked at. So probably not.
Just a question I asked, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have anything
So,
else.
so
there,
my
but-
fight was more mental. Like if I can convince him that this is wrong, if I can convince him that there's a baby in my body and that we could raise a family, and then he would look deep inside his soul and understand like the morality issue, but he had no interest in that.
were you always pro-choice or pro-life before?
Did the church find out about that, by the way?
I wasn't a member of the church, and about, I would say a year. So when I finally broke free of him completely, I started going to a new church and really found Jesus in authenticity. And I got down on my knees and gave my baby to God, and that was kind of the closure of, my abortion.
So the church never found out about it?
No,
No?
not that I'm aware of.
Now they know.
Eric Pettit.